up you guys, this is Rob from the Gay Guy Plays, and today on the hit list, we're going to be taking a look at my top 5 primary weapons worth forming. Now, as many of you guys know, one of the greatest things about Warframe is the fact that we literally have like a million bajillion weapons to play around with. However, for newer players or players who don't necessarily have all of the time and resources available to them, it can be a bit daunting trying to figure out exactly what is worth investing in. Now, as y'all know, I'm an old man, hashtag Warframe retirement, so I figured I would go ahead and take a trip down memory lane to take a look at all of the weapons that did manage to serve me well and will most likely serve me well through the upcoming changes. So I did want to give you guys a little bit of a disclaimer. Some of these weapons might be a little bit meta, some of them might not be so meta. However, I do want to kind of impress upon you that they will see you through a large chunk of the game and even into extended runs. Maybe not into like 2-hour, 3-hour runs because you really need some specialized loadouts for that. However, these are going to see you through a whole lot of everything that you do on a daily basis. Now, I do want to impress upon you guys one more thing, is the fact that we do have some changes coming up with damage 2.5. So, I've been very cognizant about the kind of weapons that I picked out with that, but hand in hand, you might see some weapons that would work well with Hunter's Munitions and the mods that go along with Hunter's Munitions. However, I decided to go ahead and kind of shift the modding away from that to kind of, address the fact that, it might not necessarily be around for the long run. We're talking about investments here, so I wanted to make sure to give you guys potential builds that will last. And I'll go ahead and chat more about that in detail when we get to each individual weapon. However, that's enough talking and blabbering at the intro aside. Let's go ahead and actually jump into the list. So allow me to start things off by lowering the bar. Yes, we have the Soma Prime, and while I do consider it a basic bitch weapon, I have to say at Mastery Rank 6, it is pretty damn good at shredding enemy armor and taking down even level 155s. So you gotta give it a little bit of praise there, even if it is kind of like the pumpkin spice latte of the Warframe world. But I do have to put this out into the universe. As you guys know, we're talking about damage 2.5. And as you can see, this is one of the weapons that would do really, really well with Hunter's Munitions. But I don't necessarily want to put that on display because that may be changing soon. And this series is all about weapons that we can invest in that can kind of, evolve through time and still stick with us and still put out some good damage. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this setup performs. Now, one of the reasons that I did want to put the Soma Prime on the list is, because of the fact that it is a weapon that's got a lot of ease of use. It's just point and hold it down until the enemy dies, and it does a pretty damn good job of doing so. As you can see, level 155's pretty much shredded. Now clearly we're not going to be fighting 155s every single day, but I did want to make this the example that all you gotta do is point the weapon at the enemy. It's got great accuracy, its recoil isn't absolutely crazy, so it's not hard to use. So this is one of those kind of weapons that, even though I make fun of it and call it a basic bitch weapon, because of the fact that it's just so easy to use, easy to pick up, and you can mod it fairly well even without any of the current fancy schmancy mods that we have available to us right now, that I think it'll survive damage 2.5 by using a build that's like a little bit corrosive. Even though this weapon is a primarily slash weapon, I think it's 43, about like 43% slash. So, if we're basing everything off of slash procs, it's going to take a big hit, but as you can see here, we're not abusing them with the use of Hunter's Munitions and all of the critical that kind of goes along with it. So I definitely think it's going to be a damage 2.5 survivor. It's a basic bitch weapon, but it definitely does get the job done. Now, as many of you know, I stand hard for the Rock to Ceranos. It is one of my favorite bows out there. However, at Mastery Rank 0, the Dread is an absolute beast. And let me put this out into the universe. We're talking about hashtag Warframe retirement. We're talking about hashtag old man. This weapon has been there since the goddamn beginning. It has been holding it down since way back in damage 1.0 days. And as you can see here, the build that I've kind of got set up for it is a slash-based build. And the thing is, you guys got to remember, this is 90% slash at its base. So that's a huge chunk of slash damage. It's only really going to lose a little bit of its efficacy when damage 2.5 comes out. It's still going to be able to hold on to all of that slash. As you can see here, we've got Viral on it, and I've also tossed on Vigilante Armaments for more multi-shot. However, you could put things in here like Argon Scope, Bladed Rounds, all of that would be absolutely pretty. You could even put in and I don't mention this mod much, and I'm kind of cringing that I'm saying it out loud right now, but even potentially, and this is how good this weapon is, a hammer shot to increase the status chance a little bit and a little bit of the critical multiplier without fucking with the damage spread. That's the reason, okay? So don't come for me. Do not come for me. I'm just saying because of the fact that, you know, the damage spread is there and we don't necessarily want to add another status elemental in to bump the status. That's an option. Now I'm going to show it off with Vigilante armaments right now. However, I do think that it's still going to be absolutely fantastic with Hunter's Munitions. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at the gameplay, because this thing was doing what Hunter's Munitions was doing even before it started, because legit, this thing is insanity. Like, these slash procs that this thing applies, and I haven't even put in you could see I haven't even got a viral proc in there yet. When viral pops off straight out of the gate, oh, we have another friend. I must have not killed you last time. When viral goes off and we get those slash procs in there, it's absolutely dirty. It is dirty if you can make sure that you keep up the slash procs. So this thing is absolute insanity, and it's already doing orange crits on its own. This thing has been orange critting since the beginning. You pair this up with like a Smita, or you pair this up with an Andarza, and goddamn, this is gonna be hurting enemies left, right, instead of get this with a Harrow. Oh my god, or at least, but the thing is, you just gotta make sure you actually hit the target, unlike I do, as you see right there. Oh my god, he like had a double explosion. That's exactly how good the Dread is. He was like, you know what, I'm gonna explode for you twice, because it was that good. So definitely, if you haven't already checked it out, pick up the Dread, go and piss off Stalker a little bit and get it to drop for you, because this is a fantastic weapon that's been around, I want to say, as long as I have. Maybe longer. Ugh. Alright, I do not want to hear a single stitch of bullshit about this weapon, because legit, this thing is a powerhouse. If you have not tried out the Hema before, it's definitely something that I think that you should pick up. Now, there's a lot of people out there who had an issue with its construction costs at the very beginning, but look at it now. Months later, it should all be already built in your dojos and whatnot, and after that initial investment, now you have it available to you, and you can see that it's an absolute powerhouse. Now, one of the reasons why I love the Hema so much is mainly because of the fact that when I was playtesting it initially, alright, I was out one mod slot. So what we're going to do this, as I always do, I always display it without a ribbon and show it off with one mod short, because of the fact that that's how I like played around with it when I first got my hands on it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? How is it doing this good? It is absolute insanity. And the cool thing about this weapon is the fact that you don't even have to worry about damage 2.5 coming through, because 2.5 is not going to be touching any of the statuses that this thing applies, because it's viral based at its core. And of course, you know, they're not going to do anything to viral except maybe improve it. Hopefully they don't fuck it up or make it any crazier. But legitimately, they're not going to be messing around with those things in 2.5. Maybe they'll touch it in, you know, 3.0, whatever we're going to call it. Legitimately, it's probably going to end up better in the end. But as of now, even with one mod short, this thing performs. Now, one of the reasons that I love this weapon is not only the fact that you can literally take down 155s, one mod short with this weapon, but the fact that every time you get a headshot, it actually heals your character. So the drawback, I do have to talk about the drawback, is whenever you reload, it does suck a little bit of your blood in order to do it. But the healing that you get, especially if you're someone like, let's say, a Chroma, or you're someone like a Gera, you're really only looking for some spot heals. You can pretty much keep yourself topped off with something like the Hema. And look, it's doing insanely well with legitimately one mod short. I didn't even put in my goddamn ribbon for it, and it's still eating through these enemies alive. And y'all know, listen, I gave up a little standing for the Rock de Sereno, so you know that I had to go in with this one, especially one that can do exactly what the Hema does. It's absolutely fantastic, especially with this little secondary effect, and of course, you know, the reload animation is absolutely precious, and I cannot not show that. Okay, so from the Hema at Mastery Rank 7, we're going to climb the ladder just a little bit at Mastery Rank 10 with the Arca Plasmor. Now, one of the things that I wanted to include on this list was a weapon that could clear out groups of enemies, and the Arca Plasmor does just that. without killing you in the process. As you guys know, one of the biggest faults in my technical gameplay is if you give me any weapon that I can kill myself with, you damn well know I'm gonna be dead real quick. It's like Jesus saying, "Be gone, homosexual. I'm gonna explode all over your ass and you gonna get right on out of here." However, the Arca Plasmor doesn't hurt you in that way, and I'm very, very thankful for that. But one of the things that it does well with is take on armored targets. So as you can see, it has a base of radiation, and because of the fact that that's at its core, you can actually go ahead and toss corrosive on top of that as well. So now you have radiation, which addresses alloy armor, and corrosive that addresses ferrite armor. So you've got the best of both worlds here. Now, clearly this is one of those weapons that I would push to use with Hunter's munitions. We're using my beast line. So that's like, this isn't the main build that we're working with. However, this does work extremely well on level 155, so think about how much better it would be if we were able to use Hunter's munitions on it. Looking at you. So let's go ahead and jump on in, because I wanted to show you how it performs without it. And I was actually kind of playing around, and I was like, huh, this is good. We've got a weapon that can take on groups of enemies and take on level 155s fairly easily, shredding that armor and dealing like these really, really powerful. That's the greatest thing about this, is because of the fact that you can have really, really powerful headshots because of the fact that it's just firing off this big old massive pellet, right? And now that we're rocking vigilante armaments on there, please tell me to God that I'm using the right word for it, but I'm assuming it's vigilante armaments, the one that gives the extra 60% multi-shot. We can get extra status procs off of that, and as you can see, we're just laying into that armor left, right, and center, and it feels so good. One of the other things that I stand for this weapon is, number one, regardless of which type of armor you're taking on, you're going to be able to plow through this because it's got punch through to it. So as long as it doesn't come in contact with terrain, this thing can punch through multiple targets. So now you're taking on multiple enemies with different armor types, and you're just plowing through them, just plain and simple. It's absolutely fantastic. One of the weapons that I definitely think everybody should check out, and you're not going to feel bad investing in it, especially when it is this sexy. Look at that reload animation. Come on, come through with that. So last but not least is the Tigris Prime. Now, I can feel some of y'all rolling your eyes so hard at me right now. Yes, I understand that this is a Mastery Rank 13 weapon. Yes, it does have that duplex auto trigger that I hate as well. And yes, this is the most meta weapon of all meta weapons. However, we do have to admit, it's a damn good investment. This is literally the shotgun that put 100% status shotguns on the map. Now, for those of you who are a little bit newer and don't quite understand exactly why I built the weapon the way that I built this weapon, pumping up the status instead of just going for damage, the big reason is there's a little mechanic that we're taking advantage of. Once a shotgun or any weapon that has a whole lot of pellets in it hits 100% status before multi-shot, it will actually force all of the pellets that it shoots out to produce status effects. Every single pellet. So we're talking at a whole bunch of procs, and since this weapon is 80% slash, yes, you heard me, I said 80% slash, this is going to deal a shit ton of damage to pretty much any enemy that it goes up against. So let's go ahead and take a look at how that performs now, because even now, like legitimately, before I started recording, I was like, all right, let's give this a shot. Let's see exactly how this goes. I haven't used this in quite a while, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why. That's precisely why it does what it does. I mean, oh my god, if you can get some good headshots in, and that was some sloppy play right there, because as you guys know, I'm shit with the duplex auto. So just in case, for those of you guys who don't know what the duplex auto is, it's when you click down, it shoots one shot. When you release it, it shoots the other shot. So this is what it looks like if you just click it real quick. So as you can see, it fires off two at once. So let's take a look at that in quick succession in actual play again. Let's get right up in there for a quick headshot. So as you can see, it has that little boom boom. And the slash procs just eat away at the enemy. Now, of course, the slash procs are going to take a little bit of a hit because of the fact that, you know, damage 2.5 is coming out. But 80% slash, this thing will survive it already because of the amount of pellets that it shoots out, because of the fact that it has a 100% status chance this, I mean, I just almost want to just leave. Can I leave it there? Could it just do it there? I didn't even shoot another shot. I just literally let that set of pellets just work down on it because of the fact that this weapon is so goddamn powerful. And the thing about it is, I'm happily, you know, like I said, this isn't a list of my favorites. I already have a hit list that has my favorites on it, but this is something that I think that everybody should invest in at one point, especially if they want to do some later game runs. Oh my god, I'm literally just shooting it again to quicken the enemy's death and put it out of its misery, because literally it's just being chipped at over and over and over again. And to this day, I am still shocked at how well this weapon performs. So while damage 2.5 might give it, you know, might give it a little bit of a redux in the way it performs, it's still gonna be really absurdly good. So if you haven't already picked it up, if you don't have the mastery rank for it, grind out that mastery rank and get your hands on this weapon while you can. Alrighty, so that about does it for my list of top 5 primary weapons worth putting Forma into. I am very curious, if you only had 5 primary weapons that you could invest Forma in, what would those 5 primary weapons be? Keeping in mind that you had to be able to go throughout the entire star chart and a little bit into extended runs as well. Toss your list down in the comments below. Let me know if there are any weapons that you think that I missed, or if we lined up in a lot of the same places. But regardless, that about does it for me. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.